The judge has put all 6 of his children in the courtroom to listen to this. The people who were chosen for the jury knew that they would need to feel a certain way before they could hear these kinds of statements. It made me cry and was very hard to hear. Bro, there you are for your dad. For your dad. On behalf of your father, do you think that he is innocent? The 3 Combs sisters went to the hearing for the first time to show their father they were there for him emotionally. But after less than an hour, they got up, hugged each other tightly, and cried as they left the courtroom. What exactly did the video show at that moment that not even Diddy's children could stand to see? That video might be the most important piece of proof because it sets the scene for when we talk about fraud, force, or coercion. Please move to the side. Please move to the side. Help us out. Help us out. Please give us more room. Please give us more room. Even though it was early, the Manhattan Federal Court was quiet. Cassie showed a tape that had not been seen before that she said had footage from a controversial freak show that was the key to the accusations against Diddy. The prosecutor says that the video is important proof that shows a web of accusations against Diddy and family secrets. As soon as the tape was officially accepted as proof, the Combs family members' eyes got heavy as if they knew something terrible was about to happen. Not long after the movie started, Delilah quickly covered her twin sister Jessie's eyes. But Chance and Justin couldn't take their eyes off the screen where a familiar woman's face came out of nowhere. Was it Kim Porter? The witness says that 8 videos on those drives showed 8 celebs at Diddy freak-offs or parties. 6 of the celebrities were men and 2 were women. The drive also had a draft of what was said to be Kim Porter's autobiography, a book that her 4 children say is not true. Sound from the crowd quickly spread through the quiet chamber like a wave of sound. Then they all left the room without saying a word. The question still stands. What did that video show? And why did they come with Diddy on their first trip? Did they also turn around and run away? Oh, there were a lot of people at the federal building in Manhattan, where the trial of Shah Diddy Combs began what seemed like any other day. Outside, media fought over where to stand. There were a lot of flashing cameras and big protest signs that said, "Justice for the victims." There were whispers of rumors going around the crowd, from interested bystanders to legal experts. Everyone could feel the serious mood before a trial that promised a lot of drama. There was not a single empty seat in the hall. Sketch artist pens flew across the paper quickly, cameras clicked in a steady beat, and the jury's eyes were fixed on every detail, ready to break it down. The air in that room with wood walls felt squished, and each breath seemed like it was fighting to stay alive. Everyone looked at the Combs family when they showed up out of the blue. There were no empty seats in the family section for the first time since the story broke. Chance Diddy, Delilah Diddy, and Jessie Diddy were sitting in the front row with the defendant's son, Justin Dorholmes. They were dressed to the nines. Their simple but stylish clothes gave off an unexpected air of maturity. The girls' faces were serious, but their eyes seemed to hide a web of complicated feelings. The media asked Chance about their presence, and he answered with a calm but firm voice. "We're here to help our dad out." There was a slight void in their gazes, though as if they were holding back something much more important than their words could say. Rachel Harper, the prosecutor, got up from the table of the prosecution. She was a middle-aged woman with silver hair that was nicely pulled back and thin glasses frames. Her voice echoed, slow and strong, like the steady beat of a drum announcing an important event. Her voice was clear as glasses. Klein said, "Your Honor, please let us show proof of a scam from 2018 that is being called the White Party Collection." All eyes were on the big screen in the corner, and no one spoke. As the screen came to life, the first picture showed a fancy house by the water, with palm trees swaying in the wind and neon lights flashing all through the night. Moving figures were a jumbled mess, and there was thumping electronic music mixed with laughing and other sounds that were hard to make out. The video showed what were called Diddy's white parties, which were get-togethers for rich people, models, and celebrities to enjoy their high-class lives. The events shown on the screen, however, were not glamorous. It was what these events were really about. A businessman in a white suit, a pop star with platinum-dyed hair, and a model in a shimmering dress were all seen doing bad things, like using illegal drugs or acting in ways that were not moral. There was a heavy feeling in the video, like it was from a world with no rules and only power and desire. While she was on the stand, Cassie kept talking about her part in the freak-offs. "I wasn't just a participant," she said, showing pain in her steady eyes. "He told me to organize everything, from getting people to the right place at the right time to making sure they showed up. I didn't want to, but I did. I was afraid that if I said no, he would release compromising videos of me," she said. She also said that Diddy regularly recorded the freak-offs and kept them as a way to keep people in line. "He said those videos were his insurance," she said, shaking her head. "If I didn't do what he asked, he would tell everyone about them, which would hurt my life and reputation." No. She didn't want to do it, but she felt like she had to do it, she said. Wow, it's so hard to hear all of these things. When the movie cut to a new scene, the courtroom stopped moving. A woman sitting on a couch with her eyes closed seemed to have no idea that she was being filmed. It hurt to look at her face. Kim Porter, Delilah and Jesse's late mother. Chance in the front row put her hand over her mouth, and her shaking hands showed how shocked she was. The twins, Delilah and Jesse, had tried to look strong, but now they were sitting still with faces as pale as wax. Delilah tightly held Jesse's hand, and her nails dug into her sister's skin, making her feel like she couldn't fall. They quickly looked at Diddy with a mix of fear, pain, and an indescribable sense of betrayal in their eyes before focusing on their mother's picture on the screen. The image of Kim Porter, with her empty eyes and lack of direction, was more than just a moment in the film. It was a claim that was made in silence, showing how deep Diddy's system of manipulation went. Kim used to be known for being strong and independent, but now she looked like she was almost asleep, like she was being pulled into a world she didn't fit in. Her appearance in the freak-off video not only made people wonder what part she played in these meetings, but it also made people suspicious of her in a darker way. Was Kim's death in 2018, officially said to have been caused by pneumonia, really an accident? Or was it because someone tried to stop her from telling everyone Diddy's secrets? They may have had a small argument, fight, or something else happen. And Puff did that pretend fighting thing that he always does, that pillow fight stuff. And she was probably suffocated. Have a nice night, guys. No longer able to keep it together, Diddy slammed the table and stood up, making a loud screech as his chair tipped back. He yelled, "Stop the video right now!" His eyes were burning red. "These are my kids. This is not possible." His angry screams were drowned out by Jesse's sobs, which were soft but sharp, cutting through the air like a knife. "Chance!" With bloodshot eyes, she jumped to her feet, grabbed her shaking twin sisters, and hurried them out of the courtroom. The cries of Delilah and Jesse could be heard in the hallway. They were a sad, eerie sound that shook the room. A judge bowed their head and put their hand over their mouth. Their eyes were filled with emotion. There was a reporter in the back row shaking their head and saying to another reporter, "This isn't just a trial, it's a tragedy." Delilah clung to Jesse tightly in the cold courthouse hallway, as if she were trying to ease the pain that had just come out. The screen picture of their mother, with her empty, strange eyes, had broken their hearts. It broke the warm memories they had of Kim Porter, the woman who had always taken care of and loved them. Delilah thought back to the nights when their mother sang lullabies to them. Her soft voice was a relief during hard times. With tears in her eyes, Jessie could only whisper, "Why was Mom there?" Her question hung in the air, unanswered, and all that was heard was pain and rising doubt about the father they used to look up to. They both couldn't stand the thought that Diddy, who had always said he loved them more than anything else, might have led their mother into a bad place and maybe even helped her die. The freak-off videos are about to start. Also, can you guess who's in the front row? This morning, Diddy's kids are in court. Victor Langston, Diddy's tall lawyer with salt and pepper hair and a voice like rolling thunder, spoke out against Miss Ventura. He looked at Cassie with his nosy eyes first. "You've talked about these events as if you were a victim and had no control over them. But let's look at the bigger picture. Bad Boy Entertainment gave you a deal for 10 albums. You lived in fancy homes, took fancy trips, and went to fancy parties. Is it possible that you took part in these cons on purpose to get into Mr. Combs' world?" His question hit Cassie like an arrow, making her hesitate for a moment. She took a deep breath and briefly looked into Alex's eyes. Being with him made her feel stronger. "No," Cassie said, her voice getting sharper and her eyes fixed. "I didn't pick. I was forced to. The thing I got wasn't a gift. It was what I had to do to stay alive." He was in charge of everything. My job, my friends, and even my thoughts. After hearing what he said, I had to do what he said or lose everything. It was like a declaration when she spoke in court. Some of the jurors nodded slightly, and their eyes showed that they understood. Langston kept talking, but his tone got lower, as if he were trying to trick Cassie into falling for something. Miss Ventura, have you ever worked with other people like Miss Kim Porter to do these weird things that Mr. Kambe want? Were you and Miss Porter willing players who liked the way of life Mr. Kambe was offered? People in the courtroom got cold when they heard the question. When the late mother of Dila and Jesse, Kim Porter, was brought up, it cut like a knife, revealing the raw pain that the Kambas family was trying to hide. Cassie shook her head, and her eyes showed pain. She said, "No," with a shaking but strong voice. "Kim and I were both trapped. Kim and I were both trapped. We weren't involved. We were both victims of the same system. He made us feel like there was no way out, as if everything we had, our jobs, our families, our reputations, depended on pleasing him." Her words cut like a knife, and Diddy stayed seated, but his unease was clear. He tapped his finger restlessly on the table and looked over at the empty seats where his girls had been, as if he was looking for some small comfort in their absence. The release of the video with Kim Porter and Cassie's damaging testimony did more than just hurt Diddy's image. It was like a knife going through his weakest spot, his love for his kids. Chance, Dila, and Jesse, Diddy's girls, whom he has always said are the most important things in his life, had to see their mother in a dead, empty state, as if she were a victim of the world their father had created. The girls' sobs and frantic exit from the courtroom showed how terrible the film was. People became suspicious of them because they were at the trial when the video was shown. What made Kim Porter's kids show up at such a bad time? The coincidence led to rumors that someone was trying to target Diddy's weak spot, which is his love for his girls. Dila and Jesse ran away in tears, but Chance and Justin stayed calm and looked at Diddy instead of following their sisters. Many people were left wondering, do they really believe in their father, or does their calm demeanor hide a deep doubt and a willingness to face the truth? The Kambam family has been shown in the media as a uniting force for many years, especially since Kim Porter's death, which made Diddy and his kids even more famous. But when Chance and Justin showed up at the trial, it wasn't just to show support. They were there for other reasons as well, which hinted at a power struggle going on in the family. What did Chance and Justin's quiet eyes, which were not affected by Kim Porter's bloodline, hold? Loyalty or a clever plan? Sarah Chapman and Chance Diddy have a girl together. Oh. She grew up on the edge of pain. Since she wasn't Kim's child, she floated alone, without any warm memories of her mother. When Kim died in 2018, her kids held on to special memories, but Chance was left in a terrifyingly lonely world. In the news, pictures of Diddy loving on Kim's kids made Chance feel an unnamed pain, making her a shadow in the family's happy times. Bieber's oldest son with Mise Halton, Justin, had a strong will. He didn't let his sadness stop him from becoming a sharp, cold tactician. Justin learned Diddy's game by seeing the Kambas family as a chessboard of power. He did this by avoiding harsh trials and problems that were kept quiet to protect the family's name. Behind his smooth exterior, those scars made him a master player who was always ready to turn the game over. Justin, unlike Chance, didn't give up in the face of pain. Instead, he got stronger. By watching the family's unspoken rules from his childhood, he saw Kim's kids enjoy the love of a mother he had never met. But instead of being jealous, he learned how to read Diddy. As a dad, Diddy loved and pushed his kids, especially Justin, by giving them tough competitions and mysterious jobs. Supposed incidents that Justin was involved in were kept quiet by Diddy to protect their reputation. Because of those secret wounds, Justin became a smart strategist who was always looking for a chance to change the rules of the game. It wasn't an accident that Chance, Delilah, and Jesse were at the trial. It got out that Diddy had strictly forbidden any family members from going. He did this on purpose to protect his public image and keep his kids from hearing painful truths. But when the three girls joined Justin and Janice in the front row, everyone was shocked. What made Kim Porter's children, who were always good to their dad, disobey him and show up on the day that a revealing video came out? People thought that Justin and Chance, who both had their own scars and goals, were working together in secret to make a plan to challenge Diddy. It was unclear what their real goals were. With his sharp sense, Justin had known for a long time that Chance was weak. He thought that his sensitive sister, who felt like she had been left behind, was the key to starting a rebellion. Ooh. In the months before the trial, Justin didn't talk to Chance like a brother would, but like someone who would drain his doubts. He asked her in a quiet moment, "Have you ever wondered who Dad really is?" His voice was low but sharp. He told Chance stories about controversial white parties, how Diddy manipulated the people around him, and how their favorite mother, Kim Porter, may have been caught up in things she couldn't control. Chance had pushed down pain and wrongdoing for years, but his words brought them up again, making her question the father she looked up to. Chance was hesitant to agree with Justin's news, but he couldn't. She reached out to Delilah and Jessie, her sisters, even though she had never felt close to them. They called her late at night, and her voice was shaking. "We need to be there for Dad and also figure out what happened," she said. Without bringing up the tape or Justin's confessions, her sincerity was enough to convince her sisters. Even though they didn't want to, Delilah and Jessie decided to go because they thought it would help their dad. They didn't know it, but Chance, with Justin's help, had become part of a bigger plan without meaning to. It was still unclear what Justin's real goal was: vengeance, power, or the truth. Behind the scenes, Justin's thoughts were more than just trying to win luck. There were rumors that he set up the delivery of the 2018 White Party archive video to Samantha Klein, Cassie Venter's lawyer. The video of Kim Porter being weak at a white party wasn't just found by chance. According to sources who asked not to be named, Justin may have used his network of friends to get the video to Cassie, making it an important piece of proof. He was careful, though, because he knew Diddy's close friends would protect him no matter what. It is said that Justin set up discreet security to protect Cassie and her husband, Alex Fine, but this is still just a rumor. He texted a friend through a protected app. She's the only one who can tell the truth. His tone was cold and firm, as if the rumors were true. As the trial went on, the room was tense. Cassie went to the stand and talked about how she was abused and threatened by Diddy for years, which made her feel stuck in fear. "He wanted me to be all his," she said in a low, sharp voice that held the jury's attention. There was trouble in the lives of Chance, Delilah, and Jessie, who were sitting in the front row. Chance hid how uneasy she was because she was torn between being loyal to her dad and telling Justin the truth. While Delilah and Jessie were not aware, they looked lovingly at their father. But as the video played, they quickly turned away in fear. When the White Party archive was shown for the first time, the screen showed a house by the water with flickering neon lights and a bunch of crazy people, including their mother, Kim Porter. Delilah and Jessie ran away crying out in shock. Their sobs echoed through the hall like a blade. Diddy jumped up and yelled to stop the video. His eyes were burning, but they stayed on Chance and Justin as if they knew what they were doing. Chance looked straight at her father with hard eyes that demanded answers. Diddy's anger didn't affect Justin. He stood there with his arms crossed and his eyes cold. As his father's business fell apart because of secrets being revealed, he felt a chilling satisfaction grow inside him. But somewhere deep inside him, a pang remained where a faint love for the father he used to look up to still flickered. It tore him between doing what was right and the agony of betraying blood. No one knew what would happen with X. People praised Cassie's bravery by using the hashtags #SkimPorterTruth and #DiddySecrets. The quiet was broken by her. One post praised her determination, but Kim Porter's film made people wonder, why did Chance and Justin make sure their sister was there instead of Kim's kids? Some people on X thought that Justin used Chance's mental problems to get back at Diddy. Justin wants to be powerful. Chance looks for the truth. One commenter said, the Diddy trial is more than just a legal battle. It's a stark warning about power, manipulation, and the secrets that lie beneath the glamour of the entertainment world. Cassie Venter's testimony, supported by the Freakoff video, exposed a world where Diddy did rule supreme, using people like her and Kim Porter to further his own goals. It wasn't just parties at the carefully planned Freakoffs. They were symbols of Diddy's complete control over everyone in his circle. When Kim Porter's image showed up in the video, Diddy's daughters Chance, Delilah, and Jessie had to face a terrifying truth. The father they once looked up to may have drawn their mother into a dark underworld. Delilah and Jesse's cries of pain as they ran out of the courtroom showed how hurt these revelations made them. At the same time, Chance and Justin's calm behavior raised questions. Do they really believe in their father, or are they hiding something? As the trial continues, people are waiting for answers to deeper questions. Were the freak shows just a part of Porter's lavish lifestyle, or proof of a well-planned criminal network? More importantly, was Kim Porter's death really an accident, or something he was trying to hide? These questions have hung over the world for a long time, making it hard to figure out the truth about the man who was once hailed as a cultural icon.